Welcome to the Hosel Rockets podcast, the #1 golf podcast for new product launches, interviews with industry experts, golf trends, and more. Here are your hosts, Jen, Ken, and Bill.
Hey, I'm Jen.
I'm Ken.
And I'm Bill.
We want to welcome you to this week's Hosel Rockets. Well, are you ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay. This week, we have Gary Ramsden from Sun Mountain in studio. But first, we have some topics that we're going to want to talk about. And we want to thank everyone who has been checking us out on whatever podcast you guys typically listen to. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, etc. We have people checking us out from, everywhere. All over, not just the United States, but all over the world. France,
an international sensation.
We are an international sensation.
Yes.
France is still our top people. Do any of you guys speak French?
No.
Croissant.
French fry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, let's be respectful. But Germany, I think we have Israel, Australia, Austria.
Just to name a few.
Czech. I don't know, I'm just going to start naming random countries, whether or not they are actually listening to us, so I should stop. Okay, should we get started?
Certainly.
All right. Recently, my kid moved away to college, and like most parents, that meant that I was going to turn his room into a theater room and completely kick him out. But I wanted him to still feel like he had a place to come when he came home, so I went online to Amazon, and I bought a, shout out, Sound Asleep Products Dream Series Air Mattress. Okay, so there's a shout out to the product. They're not a sponsor or anything, so I'm just saying it. Blew it up, and my kid comes home, and he's like, Mom, this deflated 3 times in the middle of the night. Okay, whatever. I contact the company because, of course, my son doesn't come home until after 30 days when his laundry is all dirty, because that's my kid. And I'm outside the initial 30-day warranty. I figure I can't just return it. This is going to be a hassle. And within 5 minutes, I get a response from the company that says, give us a call. Okay, so I call, and Daniel answers, and it's this super sexy voice on the other end with this accent from the United Kingdom. And he's, okay, which I'm sorry, but really...
We've gone off the rails.
I think so. We're,
yeah.
Super sexy, inflatable bed. Okay, keep talking.
Okay, so that's not part of the story. But anyways, Daniel's like...
Now we know why we're telling this story, because she can rehash that voice back in her head over and over again.
So. That's a great voice.
Yes.
Not part of the story.
What's the phone number? Kenny and Sean call? Okay.
Anyways.
She's turning red, by the way.
Yeah, that's good.
Anyways, Daniel's like, okay, normally our policy is it's after 30 days. You're totally still within the warranty. We would take the bed back, repair it, and ship it back to you. However, I was at 40 days. However, we want you to be completely satisfied, so I am going to just ship you out a completely new bed and you'll get it within 2 days. So, I thought that was really good customer service. And then within 2 days, I got the new bed. At 8:30 that night, he sent me he called me back within an hour to say it's all taken care of. At 8:30 that night.
Back to another phone call.
The Daniel person called you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He called at 8:30 that night, and he's in New York, so that's 11:30 his time, because we're on the West Coast, to let me know that it had all been taken care of. And then they and then not only that, but if I ever have an issue with that product, regardless of the amount of time that we own that, just to let them know, because they're going to stand behind their product, and they want to make sure that we're comfortable and happy with their product.
So what I got out of that story is that all of our special guests are going to be Englishmen from here on out on Hosel Rockets.
Yeah. Englishmen from New York. Okay.
Okay, that's totally not the where I was going with that. However, Sound Asleep Products Dream Series Air Mattress definitely stands behind their products, and their customer service on that was top notch. And if you're in the market for one, I definitely suggest going on Amazon and picking one up for yourself.
And does it sleep well? He's been on it and it works?
I haven't actually inflated the second one yet, but I'm sure. And the thing I liked about it was really high. It was almost the size of a regular size bed, the first one. So
that, and Taylor's a gigantosaurus, so he probably popped it the first time.
6'4", so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's my story. Good stuff. And I think everyone needs a call center with Englishmen that are on the other line.
Clearly, you think that, yes.
Clearly, I think
I think that even if they said you're past the warranty and we're not going to take care of it, she still would have enjoyed the phone call and we'd still be talking about the story.
No, we're not sending one out.
So.
Okay, can I call you and ask again tomorrow?
No. Yeah. I think you better start working on an English accent if you're going to have any more fun at home. Anyway, all right, we should move on.
We should move on. What else would you guys like to talk about? Since you guys took my nice story and took it off the rails.
We took it off the rails. Yeah, I think not. I'd like to make a shout out to someone we lost over the last week. So Mac Champ used to work for us here at the Hagen Oaks Golf Course and is Cameron Champ, the PGA Tour winner's grandfather. Mac was a true gentleman, and his passion for the game was really infectious. He volunteered in all of our junior programming, our Special Olympics program called California Eagles, and certainly it's well documented with Cameron that
he introduced him to the game.
Exactly, and Cameron was out here all the time as a youngster and learning the game, and certainly passed on his passion for the game to his grandson.
Mac served on the Sacramento Golf Council for a
He
while.
did. He ran all kinds of amateur tournaments here in Sacramento, and he will be very missed. He was a really good man.
Special man.
So, yep.
All right. That was good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods, he had a big win.
Yeah. Zoso number 82.
82 to tie the all-time record with Sam Snead.
Does that increase his legacy, you think, or is that cemented already?
Well, it's cemented, but it just adds to it, and it just gives it's going to stir up the conversation again of who the greatest of all time is, and which a lot of people think Tiger is already, but the all-time major record is definitely back in his sights, I think. So.
Do you guys think he's going to do it?
Personally, I do not think he'll get there, but I think he lost too much kind of core early 40s time to be able to get there. But I think he'll be in the mix several more times.
He'll be in the chase. And, there's just a lot of good talent on the tour now. He's got to beat a much deeper fields.
Yeah,
than
that's
before.
That's 3 wins in the last 14 tournaments.
Incredible.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
That's remarkable.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but things are just always more exciting when we have Tiger
Correct.
in the mix. And did you play with Tiger at some point?
I did. This many years ago. Yeah, I had a chance to down at La Costa play 6 holes with him, which was an amazing experience. And actually, even more so, Nike at the time invited some of their top retailers down for a day with Tiger. So we spent about 2 hours talking with him. There was 6, I think, maybe 6 to 10 of us, and it was literally just across the table asking him any questions we wanted, and him talking about how him running cross country in high school, how he was the guy that would be on the starting line, trash talking the other guys up in the front, and just how spirited and competitive he was, and it was
served him well. Yeah,
everything you did.
Yeah, no doubt his killer instinct was from a very early age. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So, do you think you can use that? Obviously you guys are besties because of that. And get him on the show for us later?
Probably not, yes. I can bring a stuffed tiger. I think that's the closest I'm going to get.
And a photo that you took with him that you proudly display in your office, which is fun to look at.
It was a wild day. I hit my first shot. I was so nervous. I mean, hitting in front of Tiger Woods, and hit quite possibly the best drive I've ever hit in my life. The adrenaline was going so far, and he smirked at me and said, "Nice shot," and got up there, and his ball hadn't reached its pinnacle as it flew over the top of my ball.
Well, and that's actually probably a pretty good indicator then, because I mean, you went up there and you just nailed your shot, something you felt proud of.
Yeah.
But then to see how amazing he was up against your, you know,
I mean, I probably
shining
hit it
shot.
280, 290, and his ball had to be out there 350 yards. It was
cool.
insane.
That's cool.
You couldn't have been any more nervous than when you played with me and made that 13.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. If you want that story, you can go back to an earlier podcast.
Yes.
So yeah.
What else? What else do you want to talk about? You just got back. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it though.
Yeah, I can give some inklings.
Briefly.
Yeah, so Golf Digest Hot List, their February issue comes out every year. It's the biggest Golf Digest, most read, most purchased issue for them over the course of the year. It's a review of all the new 2020 products. So several thousand different golf club models are submitted for review. And I was one of 5 retailers that spent 3 days down there going through.
Too much more than that.
Yeah, but it was fascinating. I get to see brands and models that I've never even heard of that are from Korea and every parts of the globe, and some of them don't have a word of English on them, and it's pretty wild. So I can say though that the general consensus is that for 2020 there is going to be more alternatives for game improvement golf clubs for the middle to higher handicappers. A lot of the mainstream products out there, they're having more draw bias, more loft, shallower designs that are going to hit the ball higher, some easier to hit lofts. And that's pretty universal with
kind
a lot
of
of
like what we
vendors.
saw with Cleveland, I think, maybe when Cleveland was in here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I can, Ping today with their current lineup, they have an LST driver, which is a low spin technology driver, and then they have their standard G410, and then they have an SFT driver, which is a draw biased, higher lofted, higher trajectory version. I can say there's a lot of vendors that are going to be having similar type products next year. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Callaway has a couple new putters.
They do. Actually, I brought them up. So we've got them here for those watching us, and we can talk a little bit about them for those listening to us. But the Odyssey Stroke Lab series has 2 brand new models. There is a Stroke Lab silver model that's been out, and these are the first 2 entries of the Stroke Lab Black series. The
Bird of Prey and the 10.
And the 10, yep. And the Bird of the actually
I
you have
I have the 10.
And it looks remarkably like a spider putter from
like a square.
From TaylorMade.
Yeah.
Kind of 2 big features of this. One is the Stroke Lab shaft, and what they've done is they've taken 40 grams out of the middle of the shaft and put 20 more in the head and 20 more in the butt end of the shaft. And if you think about it like a...
this is a very, very, I was going to say nondescript putter...
putter grip?
Putter grip.
Oh, yeah, but you're just looking at the wrong end there. So imagine a...
and I'm teasing. It's a very
yeah.
You can tell it's an Odyssey.
Yeah.
Imagine an ice skater, when they want to spin more, they actually get in real tight, so into the middle of the shaft. And when they want to slow down, they actually extend their arms out and get it wide, and that actually makes them spin less. And so the design of the putter is similar to where if you can counterbalance it and get more weight on the heel and toe, the consistency, the ability for the putter to want to move in your hands is reduced a little bit.
The MOI is just, yeah.
Yeah, yep. And then the other big thing is on the face of this, you'll see there's some micro hinges, and actually we've got plastic on it, so you can't feel it at the moment, but there's little hinges on it, and actually when you putt, the hinges actually bend a little bit and then actually want to impart overspin on the ball as it comes off the face. So 2 brand new. They literally just arrived this week.
All right, Bird of Prey and 10.
Yep.
Are they on our sponsor, Morton Golf Sales?
They are.
Both mallet styles, so...
Yeah.
Comes off the face faster, true roll, and then high MOI for no twisting at impact, so the face stays super square.
And I can't say anything, but it'd be it's a possibility that there could be some more Stroke Lab black putters down the road. I wouldn't know. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What about Hanma?
Hanma, brand new XP1 products. So, also brand new, just arrived. As I'm clanging them around
I
here.
know, we brought these out too. So,
Yeah.
and by the way, if you're listening to us, I would like to say we also have, we also are filming this, and you can find us on our Morton Golf Sales YouTube channel, or you can catch us on HoselRocketsPodcast.com. And you can check us out there where you can see all these new products for yourself. So there's that.
Yep. So Hanma is really big in the U.S. They signed
the
Justin
US?
Rose. Actually, they've been worldwide, been really big in Japan, but in the U.S. they're making a big push. And this is kind of their first U.S. designed product, and it's called Tour World XP1. And if you guys take the head and actually hold it out with the shaft away from you, the other way there, you can feel how incredibly lightweight that shaft is out there, like Bill is holding it there.
I'm showing this.
Yes.
Correct.
I know.
Yes.
I always hold them wrong. But
But the design is a very, very ultra lightweight golf club to generate as much club head speed as you can. There's a large dual channel on the bottom of the golf club right near the face, and that actually compresses at impact and creates a higher ball speed.
it is a huge channel.
It is, yeah, and actually has, if you look real close, kind of has multiple channels within the channel, brand new. We've actually put it on TrackMan, and it's actually testing really well thus far.
It's the Grand Canyon of channels.
Yep. And then they have a new iron as well that goes with it. It's a multi-material, has tungsten in the heel, and in the sole of the golf club, a really high trajectory, real easy to hit, really game improvement type golf
I
club.
would like to say Hanma, in my head, is priced really expensive. This is not that expensive of a club, however.
Yeah, they're higher end. So with their Berez line, they put varying degrees of real gold in it, and so they call them 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. A 5-star golf club is actually completely coated in gold, and for a full set ranges somewhere in the $75,000 to $80,000 range.
We should get one of those on the show to show. I
Yeah.
think that would be fun. However, this particular clip that I have in my hand is priced at $299.
Yeah, they're much
it's
more reasonable.
Yeah, so the XP1 by Hanma, just out, and it's performing well, you think?
Yep.
Who's this geared for?
Kind of middle to high handicappers will get the best benefit from the weight.
So I know that you're saying that that's going to be perhaps a focus in 2020. It sounds like that's a focus right now of a lot of the companies that have been launching new clubs right now anyways. Whereas I would say last year, a lot of the clubs that were coming out were really focused on low handicap golfers. So it seems like the swing has gone the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's not that there's fewer golf clubs for the better players, because
I wouldn't say not necessarily what
but
I'm
I
saying.
think we're expanding more and creating more options for more varying degrees. A good example is Titleist. They have their current line of woods that are extending into 2020 right now, and they originally had the TS2. And TS3 woods, and now have a TS1 and a TS4. TS4 is designed for the very, the tour player who's looking for really low spin. But TS1 is very much like this XP1, where it's super ultra lightweight. And actually, we were looking at our sell-through numbers prior to this trip to the hot list. Over half of our woods that we've sold with Titleist thus far have been TS1s. And that's an audience they never spoke to before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. I think we should break for commercial, but after our commercial, we have a very special guest. We are going to be bringing on Gary from Sun Mountain. I'm kind of excited. Sun Mountain, I think, is a pretty cool brand. They are out of Missoula, Montana. I know this because one of my staff members is from Missoula, and she's always talking about the cheese fries from Missoula, which I've never had, but I hear they're pretty spectacular. However, I also talked to a fire jumper recently who had never heard of cheese fries from Missoula, who was also from there. So if you are from Missoula, you will have to drop us a line and tell us, are there cheese fries or are there not? That is my big question.
We do know there's Sun Mountain, though.
Oh, yeah. There's Sun Mountain.
Yeah.
But my bigger question is, are there cheese fries in Missoula?
It always revolves around food.
Everything should revolve around
Maybe
food.
Gary will be able to answer that question
Yeah,
because
there
I'm
you
sure
go.
he's been there. So
Okay, that'll be our first question for Gary after this break. This is what we really want to know. Are there cheese fries in Missoula? So stick with us when we return on Hosel Rockets.
we'll be right back. Hey, Bill here. I wanted to pause real quick to thank our sponsor, MortonGolfSales.com. Morton Golf Sales is the #1 online retailer for all your golfing needs. From the newest clubs on the market to the classics that you can't find anywhere else, Morton Golf Sales has the best products and customer service at the lowest possible prices. Want to check out their huge online inventory of clubs, clothing, golf balls, accessories, and save 12% on your first order? Just use coupon code ROCKETS at checkout on MortonGolfSales.com. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Now, back to the show.
Gary Ramsden, thanks for joining us today.
I can't stress to you enough how it is a pleasure to be here. All right, well, I got a face for radio, but thank you too. Sun Mountain is really proud to be here. We're celebrating our 36th year this year.
Wow.
Actually, just pretty much this time of year is when Rick Reimer started the company. He's the sole founder, and he's a pretty creative guy. He's got a lot of things that we can talk about today, and Morton Golf has been a tremendous help in our promotion of all the products that we do. So, yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. I think the #1 question that our viewers want to know is basically cheese fries. Are there cheese fries in Missoula?
Yes, and I ate most of them.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how many are left.
Okay. I think one of the coolest things, and I mean, you guys might disagree, but I think one of the coolest things about Sun Mountain was, in 1986, Sun Mountain kind of revolutionized the golf bag industry in that with the Eclipse bag and the introduction of legs to
built in.
create the what everyone now knows as a stand bag. No one was really doing that before Sun Mountain, correct?
Nice job in doing your homework. Rick came up with this idea, and it was kind of funny. As being golf professionals and so forth, they all looked at him and they gave him the old fish eyes. What are you doing? We don't need to stand on a bag. What's it? And so he introduced it. We actually made it the first bags in San Jose, in Northern California area. Rick's Golf Pro still maintains his PGA process there, and so he made as many as he could make, which was about 200 or 300 at the time. Sold every one of them pretty much locally, and then the momentum just. You guys are part of the a lot of the associational groups. They kind of just jumped on it and kind of ran from there.
Yeah, we were in that first group, I remember, and it was kind of mad scientist type stuff at first, and
Especially with the shape of the bag being a little bit
triangular,
symmetry,
a little bit,
oblong, and with the back end sticking out. So clearly remember that.
Yeah, and imagine now. You fast forward 30-something years. It's over half of the bags we sell now have stands on them. It changed golf.
It absolutely changed golf.
So we're doing that, and then he brought forth. He saw this gal pushing her baby down the street, and in this kind of a trolley, and he says, "We're going to make a cart." Because at that time, the carts were kind of the municipal 2 legs, kind of rickety kind of things. And then so he called it a speed cart, and it was a 3-wheeler, and you could push it, nice balance. You kind of push under the center of gravity and set over the top of it. So he's got the speed cart thing. He's got the legs thing. I'm going to show you a little peek on some of the travel goods that we've got. And then he decided to make a cart bag. Okay, we're on the couch, right? It's time to get off the couch. Okay, we're all about getting off the couch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, golf's is getting it outside and walking around, and sure, you take a cart's fun. It's got the outside and all that. So this is going to be my get off the couch speech.
All right, let's get off the couch.
We'll talk a little bit about my cart bag, and your facility and Morton Golf has really put us on the map with this bag. It's called the C130, and we've sold hundreds and hundreds and thousands of these, and it's evolved through the ages of being a lightweight bag for a cart, but then it's got all the bells and whistles. Guy comes in and he puts it on he wants the center of his universe is right there. His putter bay is part of it. A 14-way divider so the clubs don't cross over, easy to get in and out. And wedge always has its little special spot over here. If it misses a green, it may have go in another point.
So let's stop there for a second. Let's talk about the importance of a 14-way divider. I know we do a weekly show on Wednesdays as well. That's live. But we talk a lot about the importance of a 14-way divider. Do you want to just...
the wear and tear on a grip is not necessarily from actually the oils in our hands or use through a golf swing. Most of it actually comes with the grips rubbing on one another as they're going in and out of the bags. So with the 14-way divider, you can expect your grips usually to have a lifespan at least a time and a half longer with a 14-way divider golf bag than without.
And that's if it goes all the way to the bottom, which is a key point of this bag. I mean, it's not just a 14-way top divider,
right,
but if it's going all the way to the bottom.
Separate sleeves for each golf club.
Yeah, so go ahead, keep going.
That's really a good point, excellent point. It's actually is one of the main sales points in retail on the unit. We don't short sheet you. And that's kind of what I mean by that is that all 14 compartments are tied to the bottom of the bag. And we actually have a feature in it that Rick's come up with and his team that's tied it together will last a long time. So the shafts aren't crossing one another. They come in and out. And by going to the bottom, they don't tear. That 14-way doesn't tear. And so a lifetime of our golf bags they last a long time.
Yeah,
Maybe even too long sometimes. From the retail turnover.
This is
right?
obviously coming from a retailer side and not from the customer side.
Well, what we've done on the bag as well is that when it sits on the cart, and I know a lot of you are listening here versus seeing, but as I go through it, all the pockets are in front of you. We even have a little beverage pocket. For a wee spot,
yeah,
right, Stevie? Just for a wee spot.
Is your middle name Daniel by chance?
No, it could be. Could be my nickname anyway.
Boy.
And it's vented, and then so that's for the sodas. So it has a cooler aspect to it. And then what we've done on both sides of it.
Is it an actual cooler?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Would you like a beer? Or soda anyway. No, it actually is lined and it's vented and it's there for put a 6-pack in.
Yeah,
nice.
Or maybe a little bit more.
Soda. People.
A soda too.
Yeah.
Diet if you may. And then what we're doing is the side pockets are waterproof, actual waterproof, and they're lined so you can put something of value, maybe your cell phone or watch or something like that into
or your
the deal.
soda. No way.
No, soda goes over in that. I got another pocket for that. And then the front, and this is kind of cool. This is for the 2020 series. We put a magnetic valuables pocket. So it seals easy in and out. A lot of components. But here's the surprise. Okay, when you put it on the cart, every other bag you wrap the strap around to tie it to the cart and so forth. Don't do that with this little jewel. We have Velcro that goes around the back part of where the basket is, holds the bag in its place, and it's easier. It doesn't get the bag dirty. How many times, Stevie? I know you've done this before. You get in the cart, sitting with you, hits it, goes down the first fairway. There goes the $2,000 set bouncing on the cart path. Right?
Yeah, forgot to close the
strap. Didn't strap it all the way in. This is a feature, and frankly, this is what sells a bag. the components of the pockets, as well as this new little feature that we put on a couple years ago.
Yeah, and I think they make the cart straps out of sandpaper. It does. I think it just wears a row of across to any bag that it goes onto.
So my question I have is, there's this thing on the top of it that looks like a little box. I mean, what is that? Let's dive into that.
Such an observant lass she is.
Yes.
This is called a supercharger, and it's the Phillips Bank 7800 series. There you go. And what it is you charge it like you would charge your cell phone battery. You stick it in a pocket that you have right on the side here. It actually goes right in the port. There's a USB port that you stick on the side. So now you've got your cell phone. If it needs charging, play a little music maybe in the cart. And it's just kind of an added feature. We put it both in the C130 as well as our 4.5 carry bag.
So if you're out in the middle of the round and your GPS goes out or your rangefinder goes out, it's literally, you can actually charge it right off of your golf bag.
Yeah.
Now, does this come with? Is there a supercharged version and a non-supercharged version, or is there just the?
No, there is. There's a stand bag version of the C130 to boot. So you've actually got it in 3 different flavors.
Very cool.
Very good. Very
awesome.
Good. Yeah, nice little option. So that's one of my best relative to cart bags.
Is this their? How does this one sell for us?
That as a single unit is our best-selling bag in the whole store.
Really?
Yeah, it's
the Sun Mountain C130 supercharged.
Yeah, if you not the supercharged version, but the family of C130. If you count that as a model, we sell more of that than any other bag.
How many color options?
14 this season.
Yeah.
And I think the question everyone has is basically, what's the price? That's the question. I know that's always my question.
Depending on stand bag to supercharged version, somewhere in the 230 to kind of 260 range, right in there. So depending on which model you want.
Yeah, supercharger's a couple dollars more just because of the component, but
yeah.
And the supercharger comes on 5 of the different colored series, but we're going into camouflage now. We're doing we have one that we do our American flag on. We're very proud of. And so forth. Yeah, so it's got many options that are part of that family.
And you guys who are listening or tuning in, Sun Mountain has a very wide range of products, all that are super well made, super really well done. I basically kind of asked Gary, let's just go with the heavy hitters, our best sellers, or the most interesting products to come in and talk with us today, the ones that we know our customers really love and that we thought might be best suited as we go into the holidays, or the ones that have really resonated with our customer base primarily. So that's what we're focusing on today, huh?
Wonderful.
I'm excited. As we get off the couch...
You brought a stand bag with you too, right?
Figuratively.
Just so happened to have, this is hot off the press. I just got this in for the people that are viewing yesterday. We're making a series of carry bags, of which the whole Morton Golf family has put together and helped promote the real lightweight carry aspects of it. And we're calling it 2.5 because that's pretty close to what it weighs.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you there. 2.5. Is that 25 pounds?
2.5 pounds.
2.5 pounds. An entire golf bag that weighs 2.5
Stevie wins a French fry. He
pounds.
wins a French fry for that guess.
Mr. Bill Dixon is our winner with 2.5 pounds.
Silly.
I know when we go over and hand a customer a 2.5 bag in the store, the reaction every single time.
Yeah, is just wonderment.
How?
When we hand it off and they're like, wow, this is all this weighs. That's super exciting to people that walk and carry.
How can you even get a bag how can you even do that?
Well, what we've done is a couple of things. They've identified, obviously, what the weight is. You've got a strap, you've got legs, and then the whole components that go down to, the full entries of a 4-way or a 14-way bag.
Yeah.
And so they've taken an idea of where do we find strong fabric that keeps its color, okay, and can put the components together that can be in that 2.5 or 3 pound range. So we found a nylon that's very strong. It's cross-dye nylon. And you could even use it like we talk about parachute fabric maybe even, then another part of the bag that's heavy is the leg.
Let me hold this for a minute.
Legs weigh. Be careful, it could fly away now. We put the leg in a carbon fiber, as well as some of the aluminum aspects of it. And by eliminating that, we can get the weight down to right at little over 2.5 pounds. Billy, I could see you doing this, walking down the first fairway.
Oh, it's beautiful. I still have one of your original 2.5 pound Sun Mountains, but this has so many more, as you said before, bells and whistles. It looks sharper, but Kenny and I have taken a trip to Bandon Dunes, well, not recently, but for 10 years in a row, and we would always convert to our carry bags because you're walking only, and it makes such a difference to, pack that on your back for multiple rounds.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
have
you
such
compare
light
it
weight.
to a regular stand bag that, some of them are in the 7-8 pound
That's-
range. Again, when we're up there playing, 18, sometimes 36 holes a day, at the end of the day, you're just more fresh carrying the lighter weight bags. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, by the time you pack your golf balls, your clubs, I mean, that extra 5 pounds really does make a difference,
Up
right?
there, I usually lose most of the golf balls by the end of the round, so it's lighter at the end than the beginning. But
What kind of warranty do these bags have?
They cover. It's one of the great things about Sun Mountain. This family of carry bag products, and we have what's a 2.5, which is the weight, the 3.5, and then a 4.5, and they all have just a few more pockets and so forth that adds a small amount. And the warranties, we look at a 6-month warranty as a rule, but frankly, anybody that comes in, one of the great things about being a privately held, company and customer service, as we talked about earlier. I don't know, we're very reasonable when it comes to that.
yeah.
There, absolutely.
Yeah, you guys have
work well with
experienced
us,
that.
yes.
Yeah, they're fantastic. We discussed travel to Bandon Dunes. That probably leads us into a brand new travel bag called the Cube that just came out too. I know we should talk about.
I'm going to throw a little curveball on this one, and then we'll do a transition. This is brand new, and it's called the Eco Light. And so what we decided to do is we can make, this fabric is made out of 25 20-ounce water bottles.
This fabric on this bag?
That bag as you see it. So all the recycle, we're part of the 1% membership, U.S. membership club. It's now promoted all over, and we're trying to do a little part in it. And so that bag is made out of recycled bottles.
Good. Yeah, you'd never guess. I mean, it feels like a ripstop nylon that you guys have historically used.
Yeah.
So.
So speaking of walking and traveling, we've got a couple of new things that are really neat. And this is the company that I work for. They have. It really never ceases to amaze me. I'm always looking at when is the next thing coming out, and then I got to study up on it, make sure I know what I'm talking about. But we got a little thing here, and again, people that are listening to us, I'm going to describe it. It's made out of ballistic fabric. It is about 2 feet by 2 feet square. You said, what? 2 feet by, and it's a travel bag? Well, if I showed it to you, you'd have to guess.
Like a
It doesn't
James
even look
Bond
that big.
briefcase.
Yeah, or a
It doesn't
robot
look
from
too
Star
deep.
Wars.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it does look like a
that
robot.
was the guess. They put it in front of us and said, okay, what is that? What do you think it was? Maybe it's an overnight bag you were going to take on the next flight that we're going somewhere. But then you see the wheels that are on the back. So this unit, the ballistic fabric protects the expensive drivers and sets and so forth that we display in it. It will fit any golf bag, even that big 10.5, Billy, that big 10.5 staff bag. I've seen you look around a little bit. And it goes into, you can see where I'm coming from here, a whole travel bag process with the
Now,
legs
see,
down.
opening this up, it is a full size travel bag. That he said 2 feet. I would say it looks like it's about 14 inches when it's all compact. I mean, it's much smaller than 2 feet, in my opinion. Am I off on that?
No, and again, I just having a little bit of retail experience, we have some large, oversized SKB travel covers that are like plastic, that are the full
Correct.
plastic, and certainly from a protecting your golf set the most, those probably do it better than anything. But the challenge is when you get to the other end, any travel bag, they're just big and they're bulky and
How are you going to get it in your rental car?
trunk and all that kind of stuff.
If you have multiple travelers, you're not getting 4 of those in a
Exactly,
vehicle.
and what I love about this is it's literally this, the size of a small carry-on that you would, bring
Correct.
on an airplane with you. So
Now, when you get to the
Smaller
airport,
than a carry-on.
Yeah.
when you get to the airport, a lot of times they start charging you a little bit when you get it heavy, right? And that $40, $50 rate. And what this does is it only weighs 6 pounds. It's a little over 6 pounds. And with a set, what does the set weigh, Bill? Probably
25.
20 pounds or so. Kenny. And so add that all together, we're in that 30-pound rate. Makes it easier to move it around a little bit, and then they don't ding you for a little extra fee there.
And this is brand new, right? I remember when you walked in my office and showed it to me a couple months ago.
It is. We just introduced it about a month ago, and we have it on the shelf now.
yeah,
Excellent. What's this retail for?
We're selling this at $229.
So that's a pretty reasonable. That
Yeah.
would be a
It's
great
less
gift
than
for
some
the
of the others.
holidays.
yeah, and I
Again,
love the colors
Colors,
too.
I was just going to ask, colors, what are available?
Yeah, what are they available? This is showing an orange, which I also like. I get sick and tired of everything only being in black. I'm going to mention that because I think Ken has shown up in gray every single one of our podcasts, even though I specifically tell him he can't wear gray
It looks great in gray.
It matches
Like
our
the
couch.
He makes that look good.
He matches our couch every single week.
Yes.
So I think he's
It's
just wearing it now.
monochromatic.
I think he's just wearing it now just to drive
Out
me
of
nuts.
spite. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I think
that's
so.
clearly the case.
Well, we do To answer your question, we do Bumblebee. Now, I know
Is that
people
yellow?
that are just talking about it. That would be yellow. Oh, yes, that would be yellow. We do Inferno, which is what you see here. I have one that's called Bahama. I have a Tropical. I've got
Okay,
a...
so what these aren't.
the list goes on.
What is Bahama? What is tropical? Give me the layman's colors on that.
Well, Tropical has got that maybe a little blue in it, a little
Okay.
blue-green. The Inferno obviously has a red tint to it,
Orangey.
has the orange tint to it. And we do a blue, and we do a gunmetal, and so forth. And right now, it's interesting because most travel bags are black, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, when
probably,
you get off the airport and you go over to the where they have all the sets lined up,
Oversized.
and literally every single one of them is black. It's hard to tell whose is whose. Not with this.
so sometimes you got to be a little careful. I could see, you guys are out doing a little vacation in Maui, and all of a sudden the set isn't there because somebody grabbed the wrong one or
Yeah.
ran off with it or whatever. So this one you can tell. And so we're selling more of the colors than we are relative to the darker colors, kind of because of the new scheme.
Yeah, I can totally see
I like
that.
it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yep.
I like how Sun Mountain seems to look at problems that maybe not everyone has thought about and then think of solutions to solve those problems.
The cool part about Sun Mountain is a typical manufacturer. They have an owner, operator, and then they have an R&D team. And with Sun Mountain, that's one and the same. Rick is a mad scientist in the very best description of the word. I mean, every design, every feature, everything, every good thing that's kind of come out of Sun Mountain has come from the owner. He is an inventor extraordinaire and somebody that the golf industry should be really proud of. It's amazing all of the inventions he's had over the years. One of his more recent inventions is being sold across golf courses all across the U.S., and that's a cart you ride on. You might explain that too.
He came up with this idea a couple of years ago. And this is how creative, and he's crazy. And because we never really know what to expect. So he introduced it at the sales meeting, didn't tell anybody about it. And it's called the Finn Cycle. Now, Finn's the name of his dog, okay? And it is a cycle that is, it has a lithium battery to it, has a 16 millimeter back tire, and in a tire that is customized so that when it goes over French drains or any kind of bumps, it's real smooth over it. And it's balanced because of the front tire. It only weighs about 75, 76 pounds, so it's not real heavy. And it has a dual front and back disc brake. Has an operating time with the charge on the lithium battery. It can go a couple rounds easy, 2-3 rounds, depending on the course, like one as Hagen Oaks is, fairly flat. And he came up with this idea. It's in a bunch of new colors, and it is called the Cycle. And keep an eye on this because we sold them a bunch of them in just a short period of time. And as we get into the 2020 season, this is going to be kind of a new fad, that's hitting the new places. I've placed them in a number of spots, mostly resorts at this point.
It sort of resembles a bicycle.
Right, and where do the clubs go, Gary?
Clubs sit right in front of you. So you got your handlebars. Clubs are right in to fit any golf bag, staff bag or regular, right in front of you, and you just kind of tool around the course, pull them in, pull the sticks in, stick them back.
Yeah, it's like a motorcycle.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so much fun.
It is fun. I would say it's closer to a bicycle than a motorcycle. And I think if you lived on a golf course, and I think this would be kind of a fun alternative to just a golf cart.
Like a power cart.
As something to have. You'd definitely be different in the fin cycle.
What we're promoting is speed of play, frankly. I mean, we could play golf, and you can join us. If we all had one.
Thank you.
She can watch.
We could play 9 holes. Literally, I played with a buddy of mine at Foursome. Without anybody in front.
What the heck?
We played in an hour. 9 holes in an hour.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and that's what's happening with the ones we've placed. They've made reservations so they can go out early before the kids get up, or and so forth. Maybe play 9 holes before work, and so forth. And this is a quick way, because how does it go? You go to your golf ball. You go to your golf ball, I go to my golf ball, meet you on the green, and, we play through.
Yeah, so if you want to look for some more information, it's FINN Cycle. Sun Mountain's got it on...
CYCLE.
Yep, and they've got it on their website. They're really, really cool. And you're going to see them pop up at a number of different golf courses across the country.
All right. I think that's about it. That's with our time with you today.
Well, thanks. We're getting off the couch.
We're getting off the couch.
Let's get on the golf course.
Yeah.
Let's go take it and get a little bit of the scenery and have some fun. And that's what it's all about. And I really appreciate you guys inviting me here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them to us directly, or check us out, or check out our sponsor, MortonGolfSales.com. And we're about ready to start our next feature, Hosel Rockets. So. Or no, next figure, Jackburgeroni. Yeah, that's it. All right. Thanks again, Gary, for coming on the show.
Very good. I'll bring little French fries. I'll bring the next time we're in. Yeah, see if we can get in, and we'll have that treat going. I need those cheese fries. The cheese fries. There we go. There we go.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mom's Beef Hash has a first name. It's from a Can We See.
But we all have another name. We call it Untasty.
We hate to eat it every day.
And if you ask us why, we'll say, 'cause Mama's hash tastes like trash and we should feed it to the dog. Welcome to the Jackburgeroni experience.
Okay, well,
we're back.
We're back.
We had to take a little break so Jennifer could call Daniel, and she's very excited and in a good mood now.
Yes.
So we could probably do a little Jackburgeroni now, right?
What the hell is Jackburgeroni, by the way?
She still won't tell us.
Okay.
She still won't tell us, right?
She's so embarrassed. She's gone speechless on us.
Oh, perhaps you and I should just leave, Kenneth, and let Jennifer speak to Daniel.
Little spots of tea.
Okay. This week on the Jackburgeroni Experience, we are going to talk about golf products that have revolutionized the game.
Whoa. Where would we begin with this one?
I thought it was appropriate because with Sun Mountain being here, I really thought that the Eclipse bag with the stand legs was one of those products that would have made my list.
Yeah.
So, boom.
Did that revolutionize the game, though, or just...
Yes.
It did? Okay.
Oh, well, that's my thought. Are you going to... Yes. Yes, it did. So, there we go. That was my transition to Jackburgeroni.
Okay.
Bill can probably talk us through when he was playing and they went from the gutta percha ball to the rubber golf ball.
I knew this was coming.
So,
I figured this was going to come.
Have you ever heard of the gutta?
Right. Most people haven't.
Do we want to know
Bill
what
was
is
a youngster.
When I was a youngster, we played with a golf ball that was a leather sack, for lack of a better term, with feathers in it.
Yeah.
And that's what the golfers used to hit.
Yeah.
And
see, I'm so naive and stupid. I'm like, did you actually?
Jennifer, oh my word, no, That was in like the early 1900s
that,
and the
but I'm old. Did
1800s.
you actually play with it?
Yeah.
I'm old, but I am not
Yeah.
quite that old.
Bill, meet Gullible. Gullible,
Yes.
meet Bill.
Certainly, I'm not as young as Daniel.
Yeah.
No, okay.
I
So,
would just like to apologize to anyone who's listening to us internationally for the amount of people who have tried to use a
oh yeah, and I know my poor English accent. I can do a much
on the
better one
show.
when I'm actually trying, but
Yes.
that's okay. I won't do it anymore.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right.
Okay. All right. Who wants to go first?
I already went first. I did the Eclipse bag. So
No, you
what
did-
do
that
you
doesn't
mean, no?
count. You only knew that because Gary talked about it.
I talked about it
Okay.
twice. I have a second
All right.
one.
So there's lots to choose from.
All right,
I have
go
one.
ahead. All right,
Lay us
go.
on it.
we talked about it a little bit maybe a few weeks ago, but well, no. I'm going to go with a different one first. How about the metal wood? That would be certainly something that's
Yeah.
changed the game
Why?
forever. It allowed greater distances. But people increased their driving distance from what traditionally was just either a persimmon, a block wood persimmon club, because again, woods used to be made out of wood, or it was a laminated driver or wood where the wood was put together in layers. And then when the metal wood came out, the ball came off faster, even way back then I would say in the early 80s, correct?
Yeah.
TaylorMade created a club called the Original One.
Yeah, actually, the Pin Seeker was actually the very
Oh, was
first
it
metal
the first?
wood, but
Okay.
the Pittsburgh
I stand corrected.
Persimmon was the
Yeah.
first mainstream one by TaylorMade. Yeah, yeah.
I kind of feel, Bill, that you and I need to like just go. We need to like do them, and then when we're done,
Kenny
then,
will just
then,
correct
then
us?
we'll let Ken
Okay.
go in, because once he starts talking, he'll have more than we will. Would
Okay.
be my guess. I have one.
Okay.
Callaway Big Bertha. First oversized driver.
Yeah, I would consider that
Yep.
certainly one. That was the first time that woods went oversized for sure. So
And still in metal, right?
yeah,
And what was the reason why? Well, okay, go ahead. What about titanium?
yeah. Same with Callaway.
Yes. And what were they allowed to do when they made a titanium club?
I don't know. Are we supposed to? Is
No,
this a
I'm-
quiz now?
Yeah,
I don't
I'm talking
know.
to Kenny because
All right,
I'm
come on,
feeding
Kenny.
him so he can explain it.
Yeah, well, I mean, titanium was much lighter weight than
Correct.
stainless steel, so,
So-
we could actually make it even bigger yet still.
Which made
so a great Big Bertha.
Great Big Bertha.
Yeah.
Larger face, huge sweet spot, more distance, more
Yeah.
forgiveness.
Yeah, and on those early Callaway woods, they eliminated the Hosel too. There was they were Hosel-less golf clubs, which no one else was doing that. And they would take the weight from the Hosel and actually throw that into the head to make it even bigger.
Correct.
So there was a biggest Big Bertha there for
Yeah.
a while too, and that's at some point USGA had to step in and say 460 cubic centimeters was as large as you could get and have it legal.
What about moving from hickory shafts to steel shafts or graphite shafts?
So I believe that to be the case. There was actually a fourth shaft in there too with aluminum shafts. So you went from hickory to aluminum to steel and now graphite.
I played hickory along with my feathery golf balls.
Yes.
Jennifer,
Did
that was
you?
probably going to be
Did
your
you?
next question.
Really?
Yeah, uh-huh.
All right, what else? I have a couple more on my list. Let me just keep going because I have to make lists for these
Yeah,
because
go
I have
ahead.
to research.
Throw them out.
The Izzo dual strap. I remember when I was a buyer, because I am also old. I remember when that first came out, when you were able to move from a single strap to being able to do more of a backpack style.
Correct. Just like now that Sun Mountain has created the legs, every stand bag has a dual strap on it.
They all
Yeah.
do
Right,
now.
right.
And
So-
that was such a difference for just ease.
Comfort. Yeah, it helped spread the weight across your shoulders and actually put it on the across the back rather than just literally
Just wear it just
on
like a
one.
backpack,
Yeah.
and your bag went straight across your back instead of
Yeah.
tilting. Yes.
Yeah.
Huge difference.
Yeah, but Mr. Izzo, he that was a big one. That's a good one on the
Absolutely.
list for sure.
And then I also have the Ping 1A putter.
First perimeter weighted putter.
Mhm.
Yeah, certainly belongs on the list. I would agree.
And what
So-
sound did it make?
Ping,
Ping.
Yeah.
ping.
And speaking of putters, the Response ZT from McGregor, I think Kenny mentioned that a few weeks ago. It was the real large putter that Jack Nicklaus used to win the 1986 Masters. McGregor made it. Jack was that was his club company at the time.
Revolutionized the game of golf.
It was the highest moment of inertia putter at the time. We just talked about moment of inertia with the Stroke Labs. The size of it, no one had ever seen anything like it. It basically was about as tall as my drink right here. It saved McGregor Golf.
Yeah.
Right?
They were on the verge of bankruptcy.
Correct.
How are they doing today?
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah. It saved them for the time being.
Yeah.
But I think McGregor sold I don't know how many thousands and thousands of those response putters, and
most of them to Bill.
Yes, I do have a collection. We mentioned that, but so maybe not revolutionize the game, but certainly it made a big impact.
What I think it did is it opened up the ability for the designers to not just make a conforming traditional
looking
putter. Yeah, it led the way into things today like the spider putter and
correct.
The crazy by Ping
and even after that, I remember those years following. Every putter manufacturer had a giant putter of some sort. They all followed suit to try to create that same moment of inertia to keep the face super stable.
Remember Dave Pells came out with
the
a 3-ball putter, which then evolved into Callaway's Odyssey's 2-ball putter,
correct.
and so. I would probably throw in there the Strata golf ball. That was the very first non-wound tour golf ball that came out. Tour Edition came out kind of at that same time too. Where remember how much that ball spun?
Oh yeah.
And you could
it was
on the green and it would spin off every time.
So I have something, and it's a little off, but I would say tech fabrics, Gore-Tex, all of these stretchy tech fabrics, which I'm not sure if that really revolutionized, but I mean, being able to play in inclement weather, being able to, all the UV protective clothing, all of the four-way stretch clothing, all of that technical fabrications on clothing.
Yeah, I don't think to me it's similar to the legs. It's enhanced the game. It's allowed people to play better in the poor weather. I mean, there's a lot of things that it's done for the golfer themselves.
Back in the 1800s when you were playing golf, the waterproofness wasn't nearly as much as it is today.
We just got wet. Clubs flew out of our hands, all those kind of things. We didn't have these tech fabrics.
Those leather grips you were using, they were really slippery.
So, don't forget about that.
Yeah. What about soft spikes?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we take for granted now that all golf shoes don't have metal spikes on them, but again, when for not teasing Bill, when we grew up, everybody was you'd hear the clip 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 as you were walking down the
any kind of path
I remember, and that also happened when I was a buyer, that switch from metal spikes to soft spikes,
and truly provide as much grip as a metal spike ever did nowadays, and do way less harm to the greens.
Yeah,
I mean, greens were. People would chew them up with metal spikes, and the quality of putting surface we have now is drastically different based on purely what's on the bottom of the shoe.
Every step caused a little Christmas tree. Remember we used to call them that?
Yeah.
And you just had to putt through someone else's marks.
No doubt.
Kim, what do you have? Or Bill, what else do you have? That was my list.
I've already named several.
You have.
Yeah, I haven't heard Kenny name anything.
I know,
he just expounded upon what we've brought to the table here.
He didn't bring anything to the table this week.
Failure.
Yeah.
Failure. I would probably, I would certainly say just from their historic nature, like the 8802, the Arnold Palmer putter.
Why?
Number one, just because as many wins as it had with it. Palmer used the same type of heel-shafted blade putter his whole career, and it was made by a whole bunch of different manufacturers, but Wilson made it famous with the 8802 putter, so probably maybe second to Ping's Answer series. That's probably the best-selling putter model of all time, just purely based on Palmer's popularity. I mean, there's been, I bet, millions of those putters sold over the course of his career. So I'd probably throw that in the mix too.
We could even say, I mean, as simple as perimeter weighted irons.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, in the old days, everyone played a blade iron, and if you're a golfer, you know what that is. A forged club, sweet spot in the middle, as big as a dime, maybe, and then again, through technology and innovation,
Yeah.
take that weight and take the weight from the back of the club and make it a cavity and put it in the front, which allowed the surface to be much more forgiving. You could hit it on the toe or the heel and still get a lot out of the shot, unlike the original blade irons. So
yeah, that's another invention by Carsten Solheim
Right.
and Ping. He again, all golf clubs were forged at that time, and he actually forged an iron and literally hand scooped the back of the iron to make it perimeter weighted. So, yeah. And truth be told, the first offset golf club was his also, and he didn't do it with the hosel of the golf club. He actually did it with the shaft. The shaft was actually bent to get the hands out in front of the head of the golf club a little bit, and USGA, or the ruling body at that point in time, told them that it was illegal, that they couldn't do that anymore. So that came back in and made an offset hosel. But the tendency to slice was far greater with old golf clubs than it is today. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm leaving it up to you guys. I know that there's probably dozens of great products in golf that we did not think of off the cuff. So we want your comments. Come on, let us know. What are we missing? What are we missing?
Yeah.
Drop us a line, leave a comment, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And with that, we want to thank you for listening to this week's Hosel Rockets with Jen, Ken, and Bill.
And Daniel.
Goodness!
And Steve.
Yeah.
And Stevie.
Yeah.
If you like our show and want to know more, check us out at hoselrocketspodcast.com, or please leave us a review on Apple. Join us next week when we have Cobra Golf coming in studio.
Nice.
And with that, we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
One of the scariest and most embarrassing things about being on the golf course, aside from whiffing the ball while playing through a large group, is getting completely and utterly lost. Hello? There's nothing quite like being surrounded by all this beautiful nature, all these beautiful trees and bushes that will convince you might be being watched by someone. Or something. Wait, what was that? What was that? So, to make sure you don't get lost like me, we decided to make this video where we're going to give you some obvious tips on how to navigate the golf course. Number one, always make sure you grab a map. Pretty much every pro shop should have one for you, and as long as you're holding it the right direction, it'll be easy for you to find the next hole. And if you grew up with the internet and never learned how to read a map, hey Siri, where's the next hole?
I don't know how to respond to that.
Well, I'm sorry. Just scream for help. Somebody help me! And hopefully somebody will find you. Please? Hello? Anyone? Second, if you've looked at your map and still feel completely lost, one thing you can do is go to the edge of the green where you just putted in from and look around, scan around from the back of the green, and you should be able to see either a sign that designates the next hole or the tee box. So if I were to do it, I just look around and there it is, right over there. So we have the next tee box sign right over there, and then I just drive on over, and that's how you find it. Anyway, that's how you stay on track while you're out on the golf course using the most obvious methods we could come up with. If you still manage to get lost, well, I hope you find your way back eventually and that you had a good time while you're out there. You should be able to see a sign or a tee box of your next hole. Except for I don't think that's the next hole. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's easier. No. That's 18.